When the Monday night football game is over, we're not going to be talking about how the Bengals are 0-3, and I can't believe they lost at home to both the Patriots and the Commanders are 2-1.
You're tuned in to the Ross Tucker Football Podcast, guiding your gridiron journey, none other than your host, former NFL lineman, Ross Tucker.
Oh, yeah, it is. But it's not just any Ross Tucker Football Podcast. It is a Finish Strong Friday. It is a Picks Friday. And it is a Winners Friday, presented, of course, by DraftKings. Picks Friday, of course, I'll make my pick for the rest of the games here in Week 3 in the NFL. Finish Strong Friday, you know the deal. We all finish strong today so that we feel good about what we accomplished for ourselves, for our family, so we can watch football all weekend. And then Winners Friday is for those of you that just do a little something extra. Ryan Cargill, he made a Facebook comment at Ross Tucker Pod. Congratulations, Ryan. That's all you needed to do. Now email me, ross@rosstucker.com. I'll send you a signed picture or football card, or if you want one of these press passes, any of those. Monty West, he sent me his order confirmation from futurefans.com using the code Ross. Monty, come on down. You are a winner as well. And then the YouTube shout out. Love doing these videos on my phone, and then I email them to you. Ben Hartley, he made a YouTube comment after subscribing, youtube.com/RossTuckerNFL, where he said, Ross Tucker and John Daigle on the Fantasy Feast is chef's kiss. So love it, Ben. Remember, you got to email me to get your stuff. And by the way, if you've won anything over the last couple months, I'm way behind. I'm hoping to make up for that this weekend since I only have a radio game Monday night. So hopefully I can get some of these winners their prizes over the weekend. Speaking of winners, anybody that becomes a patron, patreon.com/RTmedia is a winner. Calvin Awashku, Nathan Fayok, Quentin Irvin, congrats, fellas, for joining the family. It's Big Show time.
The Big Show.
All right, Ross, I think for the first time I can ever say while being part of this show, the Jets, they beat down another team, this time the Patriots, 24-3.
Game was never really in doubt, never really close. Jets did it still without Hassan Reddick, who's still holding out. We've talked about that. Don't really understand what his strategy has been. No C.J. Mosley either for the Jets with a toe injury. Makes sense, right? They want to give him an extra 10 days to let that thing heal. It really didn't matter, like, at all. Rodgers was fantastic throughout the game. I thought the Jets ran it very well. Also, he got out to a 14-3 halftime lead. One of the most impressive things about Rodgers was he looked pretty mobile. Now, he didn't look like 20-something Rodgers or even 30-something Rodgers, but he's mobile enough. He's good enough that he can run for some first downs if he needs to. And what I love about this from a Jets perspective, they were getting everybody involved. I mean, obviously, Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall are kind of their guys, but they found a role for Braylon Allen. Allen Lazard made some plays, including a touchdown. Tyler Conklin had a big night. Mike Williams had some catches. I mean, this is what the Jets envisioned when they brought all these guys in, when they got Aaron Rodgers. Highly, highly encouraging for the Jets on offense. Even when Morgan Moses went down with a sprained MCL, he might miss some time. Olu Fashanu, the first rounder out of Penn State, came out and looked pretty good. Meanwhile, that was really ugly for the Patriots. That was kind of the Patriots team I think a lot of us thought we might see this year, but the first couple weeks they were competitive. They were not competitive. Jacoby Brissett was getting bruised and battered all night behind really a revamped offensive line, including Caden Wallace, the former Penn State right tackle. He was at left tackle. A couple of rookie Penn State tackles playing in this game. late in the game, Drake May entered the game. He looked okay, I guess, but it was more of the same with Brissett. The most interesting aspect of the game is that weird exchange between Rodgers and Saleh on the sideline. I guess Rodgers said after the game that he said 2-score lead. I don't know. It didn't look real good, whatever it was, but I'm sure as long as they won the way they did, that everybody's happy. I know everybody's happy when they're crafting delicious cocktails that are easy to make and versatile for any and all fans over 21 with the world's #1 vodka and an official vodka partner of the NFL. Of course, I'm talking about Smirnoff. Grab a bottle of Smirnoff at your local retailer. Head to Smirnoff.com to find recipes of delicious cocktails perfect for game day. Please drink responsibly. Smirnoff #21 vodka, distilled from grain, 40% alcohol by volume. The Smirnoff Company, New York, New York. Please do not share with anyone under legal drinking age.
Want to know which team is going to win every single game on Sunday? Then listen up.
All right, we're going to kick off the games. We got the New York Giants. They are at the Cleveland Browns.
Right. I think it's probably pretty tough to pick the Giants to win this game. They might. They looked certainly better against the Commanders. They are more or less force-feeding Malik Neighbors, their rookie receiver out of LSU, the football, and makes sense. He's clearly, I would say, their best skill position player. I don't think that's going to be enough at Cleveland. The Browns defense, I just got done watching the Browns-Jags tape because I'm doing Jags and Bills Monday night for Westwood One. That Cleveland defense is pretty ferocious. Owusu Koramoah, obviously Myles Garrett. I think it's a lower scoring game. And by the way, I thought Watson looked better, decently better in this game. I think this is like 23-16 Cleveland.
Next, we've got the Richard Dent Bowl. The Chicago Bears are at the Indianapolis Colts.
That's weird because nobody remembers Richard Dent with the Colts. Back in the day, guys actually didn't play for a second team all that often. There was no free agency. So they were like, how about that contract negotiation? Okay, so you can play for us or you can just not play and not get paid. I mean, no free agency. I can't believe that was actually a thing. Although, at some point we'll say, can't believe like franchise tag was a thing, At any rate, I'm going with the Colts in this one. It doesn't look real good for Caleb Williams and the Bears offense right now. And this is kind of a theme. I didn't do it with the Browns and Giants. I wouldn't be shocked if the Giants won. The reality is there's going to be a lot more 1-2 and 2-1 teams than 3-0 and 0-3 just because that's the NFL. This is these quarterbacks are in a similar position right now where both of them are sort of up and down and more down than up. I like the Colts, but I don't feel great about it because of how good that Bears defense is. I don't think there's a lot of points in this one. Let's go 17-16 Indy at home.
Houston Texans at the Minnesota Vikings. A pretty exciting matchup considered.
Yeah. Two teams that not only are undefeated, but have looked pretty darn good doing it. The Minnesota Vikings. So let's go. I could go either way on this one. This is a true toss-up game to me. I think the Texans are the better team. I'm going to take the Texans in this game, but usually for a toss-up game, I'll go with the home team. But I think the Vikings are kind of exceeding my expectations right now. I think this is an awesome game. I think I'm going to go 23-20 Texans. But what a statement this would be for the Vikings if they could get this win.
Big game in New Orleans. The Saints, they are hosting the Eagles.
It's crazy how much this spread has changed since before the Falcons game to after the Falcons game. For those of you that listen or watch the Even Money podcast, Saints are now favored by 3, and they should be. I do that Ross report on social media just talking about the Eagles, and Eagles defense leaves a lot to be desired right now. The Saints, if you had no preconceived notions coming into the season, you would say the Saints are clearly the best team in the NFL. That Superdome crowd is going to be outrageous. They love their Saints. And this is the most they've given them to really get excited about in a long time with the new OC, Clint Kubiak. It starts with the Eagles for figuring out how to stop the rushing attack. You're going to see a lot of outside zone until the Eagles show they can stop it. I wouldn't be surprised at all if the Eagles win the game because they have certainly the talent and the players to do it. But especially with me not thinking A.J. Brown will play, that makes it really tough to pick the Eagles. Give me the Saints 27-23, and it might not be that close without A.J. Brown.
Got a rematch of the 1994 AFC Championship. The Chargers, they are at the Steelers.
So, how do you know that? I mean, I was 15. I watched that game. That was an epic game. Goal line stand, all that stuff. How do you know that? You were -7.
-6. I mean, it's the only time the Chargers have really been to the Super Bowl that I can remember. So I feel like that makes it a little more unique.
Okay, but then how did you know they played the Steelers in the AFC Championship game?
Because, I mean, it's mathematical. All right, I just went back and remember the Chargers from the Super Bowl. I'm like, they could have only played so many teams in the mid-90s. They were actually decent, so.
So hold on a second. You did that was research for today's show, or you just already knew that?
I mean, I knew the Chargers played. I thought it was the Steelers. I went back and confirmed my guess. So I did some research, but it was based on a little bit of knowledge.
So I don't love that Herbert's coming in this one a little bit banged up. And I don't envision the Chargers being able to run the ball down the Steelers' throat. But I'm still taking the Chargers. I know the Steelers have been solid, but they've gone against the Falcons were in a bad way that first game. The Broncos with Bo Nix. I think the Chargers are the better team. Look, they certainly have the better quarterback. I don't think there's a lot of points in this one. I'm going to go 19-16 Chargers, and it looks like, Jack, that's an underdog. Oh, we don't do that anymore, do we?
We don't have the music use anymore. We do have a sounder.
Oh, we do have a sounder?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Ross's Underdog of the Week.
Denver Broncos, they're at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
So before I get to tonight's game, or before that I get to that game, I want to tell you what I'm doing tonight and why you need to follow me on social media at Ross Tucker NFL. I mentioned several times I don't have a TV game this weekend. I'm going to the Post Malone concert thanks to my friends at the Game Time app. I already love me some Game Time app. Now I really love me some Game Time app. You can get tickets for anything on this thing. So whether it's concerts, football games, college, NFL, whatever, I love the panoramic view of where my seats are so I could see exactly where I'm going to be sitting. Plus the lowest price guarantee is pretty awesome. I'm not telling you guys where I'm sitting tonight because I don't need all the paparazzi and stuff, but follow me on social media because I am going to post a video at Ross Tucker NFL from Hershey Park Stadium. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Do what I did. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code ROSS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code ROSS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. And by the way, yes, I will be having several Labatt Blue Lights with my friends and with my family. Living life to the power of we tonight. You can count on that. That might be in the video, maybe not. I don't know. Always enjoy responsibly beer. Labatt USA, Buffalo, New York.
All right, what were your thoughts on Broncos at the Bucs?
Oh, I like the Bucs. Although, listen, I said it earlier, this is the way the NFL works. Wouldn't be surprised at all if the Broncos win the game because I don't think the Bucs are like some dominant team that's going 17-0. I don't think the Broncos are some horrible team that are going 0-17. So this would be the type of game where that flops, but I'm not going to predict that to happen. As a reminder, the picks I give on this show This is like if someone was putting money on it, like they do on the Even Money podcast, right? And I'm not going against the spread or whatever, but I'm taking the Bucs to win at home against the Broncos. You know, Bo Nix has to prove that he doesn't make those silly turnovers. I'll believe in him and believe that they have a good chance to win on the road against a quality opponent when I see him stop doing that. Give me the Bucs, and the Broncos defense is pretty good. So I think it's probably only like 20-13 Bucs.
Green Bay Packers, they are at the Tennessee Titans.
Highly doubt Jordan Love plays, despite what Matt LaFleur has said, and we'll give him up to 90 minutes. I think they're just trying to create some doubt on the part of the Titans. This is Malik Willis' revenge game, although Malik made it very clear he's not looking for revenge at all. He's really happy that the Titans drafted him and paid him the last couple of years. Hey, Malik, I am with you, man. I am with you, brother. I like the Packers to win the game. Actually, you know what? You know what? I don't. I'm going with the Titans. I'm going with the Titans to win the game. I don't think Will Levis has a brain fart. I don't think that Jordan Love plays. I don't think the Titans get a punt blocked. I do think they win the game. I think it's 17-16 Titans. They get off the schneid.
Andy Dalton era is starting in Carolina. They're traveling to Vegas to play the Raiders.
Is it an era? Is it an era if we know it's only this year and maybe not the entire year? I don't know if it's an era. This will be an interesting game. I certainly think that Carolina will play much better with Andy. I think that he's as Greg would say on a Thursday, he's a professional quarterback, Ross. And what that means is the guy knows how to operate an offense. He knows how to read coverages. He knows where to go with the football. And I think even just having him in there will give Carolina a boost. I don't love for the Raiders that Christian Wilkins and Max Crosby are both a little bit banged up. I think they'll answer the bell. I think the Raiders still win. Minshew's playing well, and he's found a guy he really likes in Brock Bowers. So I think that ultimately, the problem is Carolina's defense, especially without Derek Brown, they're just not that good. Give me the Raiders. I think it's a fun game. I think it's 24-20. The Raiders beat the Panthers.
Miami Dolphins, they're traveling across the country to play the Seattle Seahawks.
It's so interesting, schedules, right? I think about the Seahawks schedule to start the season. Bo Nix in his first game at the Patriots, who are going to be one of the worst teams in the league. Now, okay, you got to play these opponent, Miami, except they don't have Tua Tagovailoa. You got Skylar Thompson. I think Skylar will play better than he did, coming off the bench against the Bills, and certainly he's had plenty of time to prepare. Wouldn't be surprised if the Dolphins pull this out, but I like the way Geno Smith is playing right now, and I like the belief that the Seahawks have with their new head coach, Mike McDonald. Feels like another one of these. Let's go 23-21 Seahawks.
The Detroit Lions, they're at the Arizona Cardinals.
This is a sneaky, huge game, right? Because I think both these teams are pretty good, and one gets to 2-1, one gets to 1-2. 2-1, 1-2, you got to win two more games in a row just to get above 500. 2-1, you are above 500. I think I'm going to go with the Cardinals. I feel like Jared Goff and the Lions will play better than they did in their last game. And I don't know that the Cardinals will play that well. But the Cardinals are playing at home. They're playing with confidence. They're the underdogs by a significant amount. They're getting 3 points at home. Let's let the doggies out again. I believe in Kyler and Jonathan Gannon and this staff. Although this is a great bounce back game for the Lions after that bad loss, I don't care. I'm taking the Cardinals in a fun game. Decent amount of points. How about 27-24, Kyler and the boys?
Baltimore Ravens, they're at the Dallas Cowboys.
I like the Ravens. my larceny lock did not work last week, but I do think that the Ravens, these are kind of evenly matched teams. The Ravens, this is one of those desperate times call for desperate measures type of games. Here's my prediction, Jack. Big game for Lamar Jackson on the road. I mean, sorry, on the ground. Big game on the ground for Lamar Jackson. Because when you got to win a game, that's when he puts on Superman's cape and runs. I think this is a really fun game, back and forth. 26-23 Ravens.
Technically, you're not wrong because you'd still be on the road, and you'd be having a big game on the road.
On the run, on the road. On the run, on the road.
49ers, they're at the Rams NFC West battle.
This is like a MASH unit game. Do you know what MASH is, Jack?
Like the show from the 70s?
Yeah.
Yeah. My dad watches. Alan Alda is in my living room pretty much every night.
Your dad watches it?
Yes.
He watches MASH?
Yes.
That's so great. Is that why you look like you're from the 70s?
I mean, my dad didn't. I mean, he had long hair like 45 years ago, but never when I knew him. So
no, I mean you.
I know, but like, I don't know. I don't consider it.
You look like people looked in the 70s. You really do, with your hair and your mustache. Is that? I always forget. Is the mustache ironic, or is that like you think it's a good look?
I don't know. I thought it was just. I just went with it, I guess. I don't know.
Got it. Okay. I like it's not like popular for kids in their 20s to have mustaches, is it?
It's more than it was when you were in your 20s, for sure.
Wow, that's so interesting. Old, whatever's old is new again. Whatever's new is old. I'm going with the Niners. I mean, both these teams are so banged up, it's ridiculous. But I don't know how you pick the Rams. I mean, the Rams are really, really in a bad way. No Puka, no Cooper. I got to go with the Niners to win. I don't think there's a ton of points in this one. I'll say 23. See, I don't think the Rams score very much. 23-16, Niners.
Kansas City Chiefs, they're at the Atlanta Falcons.
This is another one of those games where I feel like I've kind of gone back and forth on. I think you can make an argument either way. It's typically pretty tough to pick against the Chiefs, even though I just don't like it was a short week for the Falcons. Plus, they're coming off of a win. I'll take the Chiefs, but I think if the Falcons can keep running the ball like they did against the Eagles, they could easily win this game. Give me the Chiefs, though. Mahomes makes a play late for the Chiefs to win, of course. 24-23 Chiefs, game-winning field goal late.
Jacksonville Jaguars, they are at the Buffalo Bills, first of the Monday night doubleheader.
Yep, I'll be at the game. Jags don't look that great watching them. The O-line's not playing well. You know, Trevor Lawrence doesn't look comfortable. Now they got to go up against the Bills. This is crazy, but Trevor Lawrence has lost 7 games in a row. Josh Allen's won 7 games in a row. I have a sneaky suspicion the Jags find a way to win this game. But again, my picks are based on what I would have you do with your money. And so straight up, I'll take the Bills. I'm not taking the Jags to win on the road on a Monday night in Buffalo, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if they did. How about Buffalo? You know, Jags defense has been pretty decent. Buffalo 20, Jacksonville 17.
And to wrap things up, a game I really tried to find a historical connection with, but I really couldn't. The Washington Commanders at the Cincinnati Bengals.
Well, I got a connection. This is my Larceny Lock of the Week, presented by Larceny Weeded Bourbon. Lock in a win and seize tonight. Bardstown, Kentucky, 46% alcohol by volume. Think wisely, drink wisely. The Bengals are not losing this game. When the Monday night football game is over, we're not going to be talking about how the Bengals are 0-3, and I can't believe they lost at home to both the Patriots and the Commanders are 2-1. Unless it's a crazy turnover game, or unless Jaden Daniels goes absolutely nuts running the football, I just don't see the Commanders winning this game. Give me the Bengals to take care of business. I think it's like 27-17, Cincy. All right, so that'll do it for all of the new shows for the week. But you can always check out the other shows. I highly encourage you to do so. In fact, we've got a plan for you to do so. College draft, talking about college football and betting on college football, even money, fantasy feats, set your lineup, a lot of really good other shows you can check out. Other than that, I think we're done here.
Thanks for tuning in to the Ross Tucker Football Podcast. Make sure to also check out Even Money, Fantasy Feast, and College Draft, all on the DraftKings Network, YouTube, or subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platform.
Shout out myfrontpagestory.com. Nothing makes me happier than when you guys get a story for a loved one in your life. I promise you they'll love it, and you'll get an autograph from me on whatever you want. myfrontpagestory.com, backofficescheduler.com, humanheadnyc.com, Sporticulture, Pizza Boy Brewing.